This week, I flew from Southern California to Detroit before driving across the border to my hometown of London, Canada. The purpose of the trip was to visit family. But while I was there, my in-laws, Stuart and Margaret, joined me for a little art hunt. Together, we explored a couple of antique malls, because you never know where the next hidden masterpiece might be waiting. Hot day today. Hopefully it's a little cooler in here. Record heat wave here today. This is an artist by the name of Chandler. He did a lot of these panoramic.
How old is that one?
This is late 19th century, early 20th century. So it might be, say, 1910, 1898, something like that. It's pastel. This is a Chandler. The other artist that was famous for this kind of landscape pastel was someone by the name of Wallace Nutting. And in these antique stores, particularly in southwestern Ontario and Toronto, you'll find a lot of work by this guy, Chandler, and by Nutting. And they're nice. They're not worth a lot of money. They want $245 for that, which is a good price because it's in good condition.
Yeah. Huh.
So let's move on. It says original pencil charcoal, $125. I think it's just an amateur piece done in pencil. What caught my eye was it's corrugated, so must have used a piece of corrugated cardboard as the backing for that.
Looks like it's done in pencil or something, doesn't it?
It is pencil, yeah.
Yeah.
Pencil. But you notice the corrugation. That was the thing that caught me. It's strange. But amateur work, not what we're looking for. A lot of decorator art.
Yeah, we that one we found it in just in a thing like that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time we were here, we found
Yeah.
It was it's with Gouache by Nicholas Hornyanski.
Yeah,
and we found it here.
Just in a box.
It wasn't a lot of money. It was $170 or something like that. And it's worth about $1,000. So he had a good find. Marge Morning, just a amateur painting. This says 1887 to 1963, listed artist $60. It's a character study of an Arab, obviously, and this one, done in watercolor. I don't think it'd be worth a lot of money. Frame print. Looks like Tom Thompson. I can't be sure.
There's
There's
a
no
lot of
signature.
potboilers in here, don't they?
They do, but you find a lot of potboilers in just about every antique mall we go to. But you never know. We just keep looking.
See, there's a long one there.
Hunt scene. It's nice. It's nice. It's a print, a long print. The horse and hounds, all in their top hats.
Yeah, it's not often you see those long ones, is it?
No, it isn't. And that whole idea of fox hunting is pretty well socially unacceptable now.
Yeah.
People don't like the idea of tormenting an animal to death. And I don't blame them. This is a local artist, and it's an original. The artist is Simpson, and she lives here in London. Quite popular for this kind of figurative work.
Right.
That's a good buy for $45 for somebody in London. Original by Simpson, right there. That's a find. I think it's printed on this. No, it's signed. It's got a signature. It's an oil painting, but it's not old. You know, you can tell if it's old.
Pardon?
One of the ways you can tell an oil painting is old
No.
is it won't have staples.
Oh.
It'll have nails.
Oh.
If the canvas is nailed to the stretcher, that's a good sign it's an old painting. If it's stapled, it's a newer painting.
Oh.
And that's an amateur painting. It says, smile, you're on camera. Well, I know that. They're telling me. You lead the way, we'll follow you. This is Stuart's favorite antique mall, so he's the tour guide.
These are pot boilers, aren't they?
They're paint by number.
Yeah.
Those are paint by number.
Yeah,
so
they, ah.
somebody bought the canvas board, and they've got all these sections marked out and what color you paint in there. They're just paint by number. A lot of people did this as a hobby, especially on a cold winter evening in Canada. Not much show on television. That's what they do. They paint by number. It's not a pot boiler. A pot boiler is made in a factory by an artist, and it's the same image over and over and over again. That's a paint by number kit. They're well done, but they're not really worth anything.
What about something like that one up there?
That's a pot boiler.
Is it?
That's factory-made decorative art.
Oh, I see.
And so is that, and so is that, and so is that. Most of the stuff in here is factory-made.
Ah.
Do you know the story behind this? This is Margaret Keane. They're big eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a movie made about her. She was very successful painting these. And what happened was, he was an artist as well, but his work wasn't selling. And hers was selling like wildfire because everybody loved these pictures of children with these big eyes. So he started taking her work and presenting it as his work and selling it as his paintings, but she was really in the studio doing the painting. He was just out there selling the stuff. Finally, they came to a disagreement about this. She wanted to be known as her own artist, and they went to court. They got divorced. They went to court, and the judge had to decide who the real artist was for big eye paintings. So he said, all right, I'll tell you what, you're both going to sit down and paint me a picture and I'll be able to know who the real artist is. He said, well, I can't, my shoulder's sore, I can't paint today. She sat down, painted a perfect copy of a reproduction or rendering of a big eyes painting, and that settled the matter.
Huh.
Margaret Keane
It's
is
a nice
the real
though, isn't
artist.
it?
Yeah, and we see them everywhere, this print, this exact print.
Yeah.
That's an interesting piece, and what catches my eye right away is the frame. Usually when you get an elaborate frame like that, it's sitting on a fairly valuable piece of art, fairly important. They said it's a Fred Jones watercolor, framed, $250. It looks to me more like gouache than watercolor, which they're very similar. Gouache and watercolor, the main difference between gouache and watercolor is transparent and gouache is opaque. And you can see the opacity in the sheep and in the little girl's head there, head scarf there. It looks quite opaque. I don't know what it's worth, but it's a pleasant picture for somebody. It's not what I'm looking for. This little piece here is interesting. It's well executed. It's got a good signature right here. Can't quite read it. Looks like Frank Barber, possibly. It says watercolor, but it's not a watercolor. That's a pastel. Again, see the opacity? Even in that blue sky, they're quite opaque, and that's not watercolor. That, I think, is a pastel on paper.
Is this a painting or a photograph?
It says it's a pastel.
Huh. I mean, that must be hard to do.
It's signed. It's very hard to do. Signed, dated '89. It says it's a pastel of a dog, but I have my doubts that's an original. I think it's a reproduction of a pastel. This is interesting. This is a watercolor. It says it's on early Ontario farmhouse. It's $50. It's dated 1914. So that's over, what, 110
It's like the wartime, isn't it?
years old? 1914, yeah,
Yeah,
just
the war.
the start of the First World War.
Yeah.
$50. I don't know who that artist is, but if you wanted to do a little research, that might be an interesting buy. It's typical Ontario, and it's old, and it's a water, and it's in good shape. Interesting buy. Sometimes they're hidden like that, Stuart, behind something else. And what caught me was the way this tree was painted. It's an original oil, painted in 1933. Palmarian, it says. There is a good signature right there. Delamarium Thump, 1933. $359. Oh, it is old, definitely old. Looking at the back, it's got an old stretcher. Someone's put a dust cover on this. You don't want to be doing that. You want that canvas to be able to breathe.
It's the original frame, right?
Yes, that's 1933. That's well done. I mean, look at the signature. Can you see that signature? Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not an amateur. That's a professional artist. You want to do?
Oil or acrylic?
It's oil on canvas. It's beautiful. $359. If somebody wanted to do some research, and that was hiding. Remember? It's hiding down there. And you know what? Sometimes that happens. People come into a place like this. They see something like that. They can't buy it today, but they try and hide it. So
Stick it down there. That's what happened with that other one, probably.
So
Yeah.
they come back next week when they've got the money, and hopefully it's there.
Yeah.
Good buy for some.
Come back and, yeah, make an offer on it.
Exactly.
Not what you're looking for.
But not what I'm looking for.
You know what you're looking for?
I think so. I'm looking for something that's typically Canadian, and I haven't found it yet, but we will.
Well, these are all old ones.
Some of them are. Yeah, this is it's kind of right on that border between decorative art and fine art. I mean, I think this is a pretty good artist, but I still think it's mass produced, and that's probably just a pen name. It looks like Sebastian or something like that. I think it's still decorative. John Holiday, I would guess that's an amateur work. Very old painting, $245. It says stunning original. I don't know if it's stunning. It's in pretty bad condition. Look at the damage here in the middle, and it looks like there's a crack, some cracks in it. That painting needs a lot of work. It needs to be relined and cleaned, and even then, is it worth it? I don't know who the artist is. Could be obscure, maybe not, but it's not typical Canadian, so that's what we're going to look for today. Looks like that same artist we saw last week in the Mart in San Diego. Remember him, Watson? Looks the same kind of style. That's an original. It's new though. This is brand new.
Similar kind of signature style.
Exactly. It's almost like a tag. But look at the date, 2026. So this has just been finished. It's well done. This is a local London artist by the name of Tammy Laye. I remember when this was published back in the day. Very, very popular subject. This print sold like crazy. I haven't heard about Tammy Laye in years, and her publisher, I don't know if he's still around. But they were hot. Look at all these old cans. Amazing, back in the day everything used to come in cans. Malted milk, look how big that can is. So this is very, very interesting. This is, it says the Seagram's Queens and Kings Plate winners, showing all the winners. It's 1891 to 1905, each of the winners.
Is that
in
in
here.
Canada? Or?
Yeah, it's in Toronto, I believe. The thing is, it says original serigraph poster. Now, I find that really difficult to believe because serigraphs don't blend color. I mean, can you see how carefully that color is blended in the clouds behind it?
Yeah.
Serigraphs are made by screens, and each screen lays down a different color, and you don't really get what's known as halftones there and there. There's a difference. That's a half tone darker than that is, for example. So a serigraph won't give you halftones because it's done with a screen. And for that reason, I don't think that that's a serigraph. I think that's a lithograph. It's a beautiful lithograph. It's in really good condition and well framed. And I think if you were a fancier of horse racing, this is a very nice vintage poster. Beautifully done. $265.
Is that dear or cheap?
I think that's inexpensive. The framing alone, non-glare glass, double mats.
The frame's worth that much.
The frame's worth $300.
Good frame, isn't it?
Beautiful. It's in really good condition too for its age. But it's not a serigraph. Now this is kind of an iconic Canadian artist. His name was Toni Onley, and he was famous for producing these watercolors of basically the ocean and clouds and things like that. And very popular back, I'd say, in 1970s, 80s, 90s. The thing that's kind of, I won't say notorious, but interesting, very interesting about Toni Onley is there came a time when Revenue Canada decided that they were going to value all of the artist's work and tax the artist based on the appraised value, regardless if it had been sold. So Toni had all this work, and Revenue Canada wanted to present it with a big bill, even though the work had never been sold. So what he was famous for was, he said, okay, I'm going to go down to Wreck Beach in Vancouver, I'm going to line up all my work, and I'm going to burn it all. And he made the national news. I don't know if Toni ever burned his work, but it was in the national news in the day. That's just a reproduction of his work. Very interesting guy. This is a limited edition, and it's called Country Road by A.J. Casson, but the problem is it wasn't signed by A.J. Casson. It says someone has put by A.J. Casson, who is the youngest member of the Canada's group of 7. There are some of these that were signed by Casson himself. All of them, whether they were signed or unsigned, were published by, see that little bump there, that little die mark, impression? That's the publisher's mark. The publisher was named Talisman Mark. I don't know what all 3 of the symbols mean, but that's the publisher. And there's more to this story, which I'll tell you about a bit later. Well, that was an interesting hunt. And as you notice, there's a few things there that are probably worth buying. But my mission today is to find the archetypical Canadian painting. We know of another antique mall in town, so we'll go over there now and see if we can find that painting there, the hidden masterpiece we're still looking for. If you've been seeing this book and wondering who it's from, my name is John Sumner. I've spent a long time in the art world as a dealer, an appraiser, and as a working artist. I wrote a no-nonsense guide to buying art because I've seen how confusing and intimidating buying art can feel, even for people who genuinely love it. This book isn't about trends, and it's not about telling you what to buy. It's about learning how to look at art with a bit more confidence and trusting your own taste instead of second-guessing yourself. If that sounds helpful, you'll find the book in the link below. And if it's not for you, that's completely fine too.